Adventure of Angus the Mouse. Now this is Montice Harmon. He's the author of the book, The Adventures of Angus the Mouse. And what does an author do in a book? Write the words. Mr. Harmon wrote these words, and I need you guys to listen carefully. Here you go. Okay. All right.
How y'all doing this morning? How many of y'all like to read?
Me!
Wow, that's a
You didn't
lot
want
of
to sit
hands.
with your
I'm
class?
excited about that.
You didn't want to sit
Well,
with your
today I'm going to
class?
bring y'all The Adventures of Angus the Mouse. And it's basically about a mouse that loves to adventure. Angus is like one of my best-selling books right now. And the reason why is because it encourages children to love, honor, and respect one another, which is needed nowadays, even in school with y'all peers and whatnot. You want acceptance, you want to fit in, you want everyone to be your friend, just about. So I'm going to begin this story with the storyline of The Adventures of Angus the Mouse. Angus was different from his brothers and sisters. He had dreams of becoming an adventurer. He would go off into town with his mother and shop. Only because on the way there, he would go off into the woods, looking and discovering exciting things that humans do out into the woods. His mother would not mind because little Angus would always return to her safely. However, this one day, little Angus did not return. Throughout this story, Angus learns valuable lessons, so please pay close attention. It was a sunny weekend, and every weekend, Angus and his brothers and sisters would go out to play. Saturday mornings were their favorite. This day was just like any other day. Angus would be the first to awake and go out to play, leaving his brothers and sisters behind. Angus had 3 sisters and 2 brothers, who were much older than Angus. Angus was born in his mother's second litter and was the only one to survive. This drew the two very close, but he had a hard time fitting in with the rest of his family. Angus' 3 sisters were Angel, Carrie, and Brandy. Angel was the stuck-up one and also the meanest out of the girls. Carrie was the nice one who always did the right thing in everything she did. She treated Angus a lot better than the rest did. Brandy was the one that looked up to Angel, so she did as Angel did. His brothers were Adam and Paul. Adam was into music and loved all types of musical instruments. Paul, on the other hand, loved sports. Football was his favorite. Whenever they played, they would never play with Angus, and today he wanted to know why. He got tired of playing alone. "Hey guys, can I play?" Angus asked his brothers. "No, little Angus," Adam said, laughing. "Why not?" "Because you're too young. Go play with the girls." Angus felt sad inside because they didn't want to play with him. So he went to the girls to see what they were doing. "Hey girls," Angus said cheerfully. "What, Angus?" Angus shouted with a very mean tone. "I was wondering if I could play with you all," Angus asked, so innocent. Carrie was about to say yes until Angel cut her off and said, "No." Little Angus ran into the house, crying. Carrie felt sorry for little Angus and wanted to run out of him. It was too late. He was out of sight.
Is that better?
"Mom," Angus yelled. "What is it, son?" Angus's mother said, as she's running to see what the fuss was all about. "No one wants to play with me," Angus cried. She smiled and told Angus to come to her. "Why is that, Angus?" she asked. "They say I'm too young," Angus shouted. "Well, sweetie, you are too young to be playing with your brothers. What about your sisters?" "They told me no also," he cried. "Stop crying, Angus. It's going to be okay." Angus did not understand. She explained to him that being younger than his brothers, he could easily get hurt. And with his sisters, girls sometimes like to play with girls. Angus quickly responded, "Mom, I won't get hurt. I'm a big boy." "Yes, you are, but we don't want to see you get hurt." "That's all, sweetie." Angus was not hearing it. He thought he could handle anything. "Look, Angus, I'm going shopping in a little while. You can come if you like." She always knew Angus loved going shopping with her. She thought it might cheer him up if he went into town. "Don't you want to go?" she asked Angus. "Yes, ma'am," he answered eagerly. He went into his room, which he shared with his 2 brothers, and put on some of his favorite clothes and was ready to go, not forgetting to grab his backpack, which he took with him wherever he went. Inside it contained water, food. Angus always stayed prepared for his adventures. "Angus, dear, come on," his mother called for him. I'm coming, Mother, sorry. Angus said, running to the front door. Before leaving, she told the others to stay in the backyard and play. Angus and his mother began their trip into town. On the way there, Angus did what he always would do, wander off into the woods. I'm gonna ask y'all a couple of questions right quick. What do you think happens next whenever Angus goes into the woods? What does Angus like to discover? Adventures? What else? Because he answered his question. Animals? You think he likes to discover animals? Okay, I got a quick question. What are some of the things that we as humans, which we're not supposed to because it pollutes our nation, but we're supposed to recycle, remember that, but what are some of the things that we throw down or we don't use anything like that? Trash? Do you think that would be treasures for Angus? You think that's something that he would like to discover? Is trash that we throw off into the woods? Okay, that's a good question. You have a question? What is your question? Or what is your answer? Well, you know, mouses is natural to them. I mean, they find anything. You know, a lot of mouses like eat cheese, right? Right? So maybe that may be something that he likes to eat, cheese. So I'm gonna continue the story with Angus and see what happens. We're gonna find out what are the main things that goes on with Angus, because at the end of this story, you all will have to come up with an ending of what may have happened to Angus, what caused Angus to go through the situation that he's going through. So I want y'all to pay close attention. He went into Angus went out and down the path he was always take. He saw new things he went through out into the woods, discovering objects like bottle caps and pennies. He was happy he found these things. All of a sudden, something stuck in a tree caught his eye. Angus placed all the things he found into his backpack and ran towards the object. When he got closer to the tree, he then realized it was a small, beautiful feather of a black bird. He began climbing the tree, and as he got closer, he noticed a nest with 3 colorful eggs inside. The eggs were very colorful and bright. They amazed Angus, but his attention was on that feather. Once he got the feather, he placed it into his backpack, then turned his attention towards the colorful eggs. Wow, these are pretty, Angus said with excitement. By this time, Angus' mother began to worry about him, so she called for him to return. Angus, dear, come on. However, Angus was too far to hear her. She began to panic when she did not get a response. Angus, she shouted repeatedly. Meanwhile, Angus made his way into the nest, and as soon as he touched one of them, the wind began to blow. Getting stronger and stronger, Angus did not know what was going on. He tried to leave the nest, but could not because of the strong wind. When he looked up, he saw, what do y'all think Angus saw?
A bird.
Y'all can answer out loud. A bird? Okay. What are you doing in my nest? The bird shouts. I'm sorry, I only wanted to see the colorful eggs, Angus said. But the black bird was not hearing any excuses. You're trying to steal my eggs. No, I was only looking, Angus screamed. He tried running, but fell out of the tree. The black bird went after him. Just as soon as Angus hit the ground, he began running through the woods, calling for his mama. Mommy, Mommy! She came running as fast as she could to save her Angus. But before she could do so, she needed to pass that big black bird first. Angus was still too far. Mom, help me, Angus shouted. I'm coming, she replied, running after Angus and that mean old bird. The black bird kept trying to grab Angus, but Angus was too fast and too small for her to catch. Angus ran to the edge of a cliff and had nowhere else to go. The bird had him cornered. What do you think happens to Angus next?
He's gonna get eaten.
You think he's gonna get eaten? Do y'all think he's gonna fall off the edge? Okay, we're gonna find out and see what happens with Angus. The bird kept trying to grab Angus, but Angus had nowhere to go. You have nowhere to go now, little rat. Please don't hurt me, I'm so sorry, Angus pleaded. It's a little too late for that. So what are you going to do to me? Angus asked the bird. Well, now I have to eat you. My babies will hatch out of their shells soon, and they will need something to eat whenever they do. Angus was terrified. He turned to see his surroundings, still nowhere to go but over the edge. Then he noticed something standing behind the bird. What do y'all think was standing behind the bird? The who? His mom? Okay. Angus was standing at the edge of the cliff, and he noticed something standing behind the bird. I wonder who that could be, Angus said. What did you say? The bird asked him. Angus saw that he was his mother and screamed for her. Mommy! Angus' mother quickly pulled a feather from the bird's tail. Ouch! The bird shouted. Angus was confused. He did not know what to do. Run, honey, run! Angus' mother shouted as she took the bird on so strong. Angus ran as fast as he could, but stopped to look behind for his mother. The black bird knocked Mother Mouse into a corner, or into a ditch, turned and flew towards Angus. He ran as fast as his legs would go, running closer and closer to the edge. He tried his best to keep from falling. However, the wind from the bird's wings were too strong, pushing Angus closer and closer to the edge. Angus' mother awoke and ran after him once more. By the time she got close enough, it was too late. Angus fell off the cliff into the midst of the river. Oh no, Mother shouted. What do you think happened to Angus next that Angus had fell into the midst of the river? Do y'all think he make it out alive? Yeah. We finna see. While standing at the edge of the cliff, breathing, the black bird stood over her. She quickly began running. As Angus fell, all she could hear was Angus calling for her. Now in the river, Angus did not know how to swim, but he tried. There was no hope for Angus. He thought for sure he was not going to make it out alive. There was no one in sight to help poor Angus. After trying and trying, he finally gave up. He was sinking to the bottom. Then, out of nowhere, a rat jumps in and pulls Angus out. Hey, little guy, say something. Angus did not respond. The rat had no choice but to perform CPR. He did not want to, but he knew that it was the only way to bring Angus back to life. But before he could, Angus awoke. Get off of me, what are you doing? Angus asked the rat. Well, I'm trying to save you, kid, the rat said. Where am I? My boy, you are in my neck of the woods. Angus jumped up fast, ready to run. Oh no, don't tell me you're going to eat me too. Angus shouted. No, I don't eat mice, the rat said, laughing. Angus felt relieved. That's good. I thought you were going to eat me. After 2 sights, a shadow came over them. What was that? Angus asked the rat. I'm not sure, the rat said, looking up at the sky. Come on, kid, let's go. The rat and Angus walked off. Hey, I want to thank you for saving me. No problem, kid. How did you get here in the first place? For a second, Angus forgot what happened. Oh no, Mom! Angus shouted, scaring the rat. What? The rat asked. My mother. Don't tell me she was in the river too, kid. I'm sorry, but I didn't see anyone but you. No, she wasn't, but I was chased by this big black bird and my mother was running after me. Now she might be... What is Angus' conclusion? What do we think that his mom, what? Eating? Yeah, he has the impression now that his mother may be eating. That's not true, little guy. Your mom is safe. No, my mother is gone and I'm all alone out here with no one. I don't even know you. Who are you? Well, my name is... Before the rat could get out his name, ah! Screamed both Angus and the rat. Run, the rat shouted. It was that big black bird again. Come on, follow me. The rat ran near his house and Angus followed. It was not too far from the river. As Angus ran, he looked behind him to see where the bird was. While doing so, he noticed something hanging from the bird's feet. Oh no, it can't be, Angus repeated to himself, slowing as the bird got closer to him. Come in here, kid, the rat yelled, but Angus did not pay any attention. Hey, Mouse, do you hear me? The rat shouted. The rat did not want to, but ran out after Angus. What are you trying to do? I didn't hear you, said Angus. The blackbird almost got Angus, but the rat grabbed him just in time. Just as the old blackbird tried Turning quickly, she flew into a tree hollering, "I'm gonna get you, Mouse," and flew away, leaving something behind. Angus was frightened, but gained enough courage to discover the object the bird left behind. "Hey kid, come back," the rat shouted. Angus went out after the object, and then suddenly realized the familiar object once kept him warm. He started crying. The rat finally came out to see what was wrong with Angus. He was afraid, but wanted to know why Angus was holding the object crying. "Hey little guy, what's wrong?" "My name is Angus, not little guy," Angus said, sobbing. "Sorry, what's wrong, Angus?" the rat asked. Angus was holding his mother's favorite vest. "It's my mother's favorite vest," Angus said, holding it tight. "I'm sorry, little guy." The rat comforted Angus, and the two went inside the house. Angus was so tired that in no time, he fell fast asleep. "Go to sleep, little guy. You had a rough day," the rat said, watching Angus as he slept. And that's all we're going to read so far into the adventures of Angus the Mouse. But I have a lot of questions, because like I said, y'all will have to come up with conclusions on what happened next. Come up with some bright ideas to what happened next with Angus and the rat. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Can I get some hands to answer this question? Come on up. I can get a couple of y'all to come up. I need at least 5 of y'all to come up and give me some good answers to what may have happened to Angus. And what was your favorite part in the story with Angus so far?
My favorite part was when he got in the water.
Why was the water your favorite part of it?
Because
That's a good, because he was saved out of the water by a friend.
I like the part when the bird was chasing after him because birds are fast.
So why did you like the story? And what would be, because some of y'all was to answer, what would be a good ending for the story?
Like putting eggs and I like eggs.
That's good. First of all, let me get your name, because I should ask you what y'all names are.
Angel.
Okay, Angel, why was the Adventures of Angus the Mouse exciting to you, and what would be a great ending for this story?
It was exciting for me because it's teaching us.
And what are some of the things that you say that you can tell me that you learned?
I learned that we should be friends.
And so also, is safety, do you think safety is a very important factor too?
Yeah.
Why is safety a very important factor?
Because it helps you.
It helps you when you get lost, right? Okay, thank you, Angel. What is your name?
Skylar.
Who?
Skylar.
Skylar. Okay, Skylar. What was one of your favorite parts in the story so far, and what do you think would be a great ending to the story? So you don't have a favorite part in the story? So can I ask you this question? What was your purpose for coming up here? What was you going to do? Or do you have a question? You want to meet the author? You want to meet the author? That's cool. That's what's up. I can accept that. Okay, come on up. Okay, with this part, come on up. Whoever want to come up next. Come on up. Yeah, I need 5. I need 5 of you all. Okay. I'm going to ask for you all names, and I'm going to ask you what was your favorite part of the story, and how do you think the story ends. Because maybe it may be an assignment that y'all may have to do to write onto this story of your own imagination. So what is your name?
Cameron.
Hey, Cameron. What was your favorite part of the story?
My favorite part of the story is that the rat comes to save Angus.
So what do you think will be a great ending? How do you think the story ends from your own point of view?
I think the story ends when Angus wakes up, his mom will come back to see where he is.
You think his family will come looking for him?
Yes.
You got a great idea of the story. Okay. So you have any more questions?
Not really.
Would you be able to continue the story after what because you got a good idea of what may happen. Would you be able to come up with some type of concept or plot to what may happen next? It's a great idea you gave me.
Yes.
And I'm just looking forward to that. What's your name is again?
Carolyn.
Hey Karen, I'm coming looking for you now. I'm looking for that story. All right, thank you. What is your name?
Matthew.
Matthew, okay, Matthew, what was your favorite part of the story?
That the mouse saved him.
The rat saved the mouse?
Because I got a pet rat.
What is his name?
Phineas and Ferb.
Do you think one day that you would be able to do you think that you would be able to write a story about your rat one day?
Yes.
I'll be looking forward to that. All right, thank you. What is your name? Well, okay, Sam, what was your favorite part of the story?
When the rat saved the mouse.
That was your favorite part? So you enjoyed the adventures of Angus the Mouse. What do you think happened next after Angus wakes up?
His mom saved him.
Hey, that's a good question. All right, thank you. What is your name? Okay, Renee, so what do you think, what is your favorite part of the story and what do you think happens next after Angus wakes up? Okay, I'm gonna ask you this question. What was your purpose for coming up here? You want to ask me a question? No. You want to see the answer? Up close? That's what's up. Yeah. You know what? The Adventures of Angus the Mouse, what was one of the things that you learned throughout the story, or that you learned that was valuable? You know, he gets lost, he ends up in the river, and he's saved by a friend, the rat. Well, y'all don't know his name yet. But what out of those three things, what was your favorite? Him getting lost, or getting saved, or being chased by the bird, or falling into the river? Saved? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for coming up. And what is your name?
Raven.
Raven? Okay, Raven, what was your favorite part of the story?
When Angus sees the egg.
And he's chased, so you like the adventure part. You know the adventures of this story is not over. So what do you think happens after Angus wakes up?
He thinks that his mom is okay.
So do you think his mom and his family come looking for him? All right, thank you. All right. I want to thank you all for coming out to hear the adventures of Angus the Mouse. Hopefully I'll be able to come back soon and read the rest of the story to you all. So I want y'all to have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, a wonderful year in school, and to remember one thing, that reading is always important. It's always encouraging to read. It opens your imagination. Thank you all.